Let's get started. Number 10. The subscription graveyard. Here's a fun game. Open your bank app and scroll through recurring payments. Don't worry, I'll wait. What's that? You're paying $14.99 a month for a meditation app you haven't opened since New Year's Day 2022? Spotify, Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Prime Video, and let's not forget Apple iCloud charging you $2.99 for peace of mind storage. Add a gym membership you swore you'd use, some random language app that promised you'd be fluent in Italian by summer, and suddenly your bank account is basically a buffet for corporations. Here's the psychological trick. Small recurring charges don't trigger pain in your brain. One $500 purchase hurts, but 50 $10 purchases barely register. That's called mental accounting blindness. Companies love it because they get to siphon your wallet in silence while you're too distracted binge-watching just one more episode of something you forgot you even subscribed to. The average person in the US spends over $200 a month on subscriptions. That's $2,400 a year. That's a vacation, or an investment. Or if you're really bad with math, it's exactly how you stay broke while being entertained. The gift of subscriptions: convenience. Your favorite shows, music, fitness classes, all one click away. The curse? You've basically signed up to bleed slowly forever. You've become the financial equivalent of someone with a leaky roof who refuses to fix it because it's only dripping a little. Want to hear something darker? Imagine if you took that $200 a month and invested it in a basic index fund instead. Over 20 years with compounding, that's potentially over $100,000. Yeah, you traded 6 figures of future wealth for access to every episode of The Office. So no, your problem isn't that you don't earn enough. Your problem is you're still paying for that 7-day free trial you forgot to cancel. Number 9. The daily coffee lie. It's just coffee, right? $5, maybe $7 if you're the kind of person who orders something so complicated the barista needs a calculator and a PhD in chemistry. One little cup? What's the harm? Here's the harm. $5 a day is $1,800 a year. Stretch that out over 20 years and invest it instead, and you're talking about enough money to buy a car, or maybe even that overpriced coffee franchise you've been single-handedly funding. This is what economists call lifestyle creep. You earn more, so you spend more. Not on things you need, but on things that feel like rewards. A daily coffee isn't just a drink. It's a ritual, a tiny luxury, a dopamine hit. It says, I deserve this. And sure, you probably do, but you also deserve not to be broke at 45. Here's the joke. Most people don't even like the coffee. They like holding the cup. They like posting the photo. They like the identity of being a Starbucks person, or a small batch fair trade oat milk latte person. It's not about caffeine. It's about costume jewelry for your personality. And the coffee companies, they know this. They're not in the business of selling drinks. They're in the business of selling tiny moments of identity. That $5 latte isn't coffee. It's belonging in a cardboard cup. The gift of the daily coffee ritual, it's a predictable joy. It makes mornings less miserable. It's comfort in liquid form. The curse? It's a slow leak in your financial future. While you're sipping, your retirement account is quietly whispering, so I guess I don't exist now? Cool, no problem. Now, I'm not saying you can never buy coffee. Relax. No need to storm the comments section with, but my latte is the only thing keeping me alive. Buy the coffee. Enjoy the coffee. Just understand that it's not free. Every dollar you spend on little luxuries is a dollar you're not sending to future you, and future you is going to be pissed. Think about it this way. Do you want caffeine now or freedom later? Because one of those lasts for 20 minutes, and the other lasts for the rest of your life. Number 8. Ignoring small fees. You ever notice how banks act like mobsters but with better branding? They don't break your kneecaps, they just charge you $35 for overdraft protection. That's right, you pay them extra money because you didn't have money. Make it make sense. Here's the thing. People ignore these little charges because they don't feel dramatic. $5 here, $25 there, a random $40 late fee. It's annoying, but you shrug and move on. Meanwhile, your bank account looks like it's being eaten alive by financial termites. Slowly, quietly, until you wake up and realize your money's gone. Psychologists call this the pain of paying erosion. Big purchases hurt, so you think twice. But small ones, your brain barely registers the loss, so you keep repeating the mistake. Companies know this. That's why every system is built to milk you with micro fees. Want cash? ATM fee. Want to use your own money early? Processing fee. Forgot your bill date? Late fee. Want to close your account? Exit fee. Congratulations, you're paying rent on money you already own. Here's the kicker. These fees don't just drain your wallet today. They poison your financial future. That oops late payment on your credit card, it can tank your credit score for years. And when your score drops, suddenly your car loan, mortgage, and even insurance cost more. That $35 mistake just turned into thousands. The gift of small fees, if you can call it that, is convenience. You didn't have to think too hard. Swipe, tap, done. Your problem is solved instantly. The curse is obvious. Death by 1,000 cuts. You're not just losing money now, you're locking yourself into higher costs forever. Here's the sarcastic truth. Your bank doesn't see you as a customer, they see you as a subscription service. You're basically paying them to let you keep paying them, and the more you ignore it, the more they smile. Want to stop being their favorite cash cow? 2 words: pay attention. Automate your bills. Use alerts. And for the love of your future, stop treating $35 like pocket change, because that pocket change compounds into a full-blown financial prison. Number 7. The grocery trap. You walk into the store for one thing. Just one. Bread. Simple, right? But 30 minutes later, you're pushing a cart that looks like you're preparing for the end of civilization. Chips, ice cream, a new type of sparkling water you didn't know existed, a $15 candle you definitely didn't need but somehow ended up next to the bread aisle. And let's not forget those buy one get one free granola bars. Congratulations. You've just been played by one of the most well-funded psychological experiments in the world, your local grocery store. Supermarkets aren't just stores, they're casinos for your wallet. The layout, designed. The smells of fresh bread near the entrance, manipulation. The candy at the checkout, that's not a coincidence. It's there because they know your willpower is at its weakest when you're almost done. Even the music is chosen to make you shop slower. Here's a stat to ruin your next shopping trip. Research shows the average family wastes thousands of dollars a year on impulse buys at supermarkets. That's not thousands spent. That's thousands wasted on things that usually end up expired, uneaten, or shoved in the back of your pantry until they become science projects. The gift of grocery shopping? You get food, obviously. You also get a sense of control. You're the hunter-gatherer, bringing home supplies for the tribe. The curse? You're the prey, not the hunter. And the predators wear name tags and polo shirts. Want to know why you overspend? It's because stores use a trick called choice architecture. They put the expensive brands at eye level, the family-size packs that cost more per ounce in the middle of the shelf, and the budget-friendly stuff near the floor where you won't look. They don't care what you came in for. They care about how much you leave with. Here's the sarcasm. You think you're saving money with that deal? Nope. You just got hypnotized by a cardboard sign that says "sale" in bold red letters. That's not a deal. That's a trap with better fonts. The fix is boring but effective. Make a list. Stick to the list and never, and I mean never, shop hungry. Because the human brain is no match for a supermarket when your stomach is calling the shots. So next time you go to buy bread and walk out with $80 worth of essentials, don't beat yourself up. Just know you're not weak. You're just a perfectly normal human who got destroyed by billion-dollar marketing psychology. And until you realize that, your grocery bill will keep looking like a second rent payment. Number 6. The sale illusion. 50% off today only. Clearance event must go. Buy one, get one free. Ah yes, the 3 magic spells that instantly turn rational adults into toddlers with credit cards. Here's the ugly truth. Sales don't save you money. They make you spend it. If you wouldn't buy it at full price, then buying it at half price isn't a win. It's just you paying for something you never needed in the first place. Psychologists call this the discount dopamine loop. Your brain gets a chemical high when it thinks it won against the system. You see $100 slashed to $50, and suddenly your inner voice screams, "You just made $50. No, you didn't. You lost $50. But try telling your dopamine that while it's already busy celebrating with imaginary confetti. Ever bought clothes on sale that still have the tags 6 months later? That's not fashion. That's a $30 donation to the retail industry. Stores know most of what they push during sales never gets used. They don't care. They've already won. The gift of sales is obvious. Sometimes you actually score something you were already planning to buy at a better price. That's the rare case where a discount actually does save money. The curse? Most of the time, the sale is the only reason you're buying. It hijacks your brain into believing cheap equals valuable. Here's a sarcastic way to think about it. Every time you buy something just because it's on sale, you're not saving 50%. You're losing 100% because you weren't supposed to spend that money at all. Retailers design these traps intentionally. Limited time offers, countdown clocks, clearance bins, it's all urgency theater. They want you to panic spend before your rational brain shows up. And it works, because we're wired to hate missing out more than we hate wasting money. Want proof? Go to your closet, look at the pile of sale clothes you never wear, and ask yourself, who's really laughing here? You or the store that just funded their CEO's 3rd vacation home with your savings? So next time you see 70% off in big red letters, remember that's not generosity, that's bait, and you're the fish they've been fattening up. Number 5. The credit card trap. Ah, credit cards. Shiny little rectangles of free money that somehow turn every pizza, every late-night Amazon order, and every "I'll pay it off next month" into a long-term financial nightmare. Here's the problem. Credit cards aren't designed to help you. They're designed to trap you. That minimum payment option, that's not a feature. That's a leash. You think you're staying afloat by paying $50 on a $1,200 balance. In reality, you've just signed up for years of interest payments that turn your $1,200 into $3,000 or more. This is what economists call compound interest in reverse. Normally, compounding works for you. You invest money, and it grows over time. With debt, compounding works against you. Interest grows your debt, while your wallet stays stuck in place. Here's the sarcasm. Credit cards are like that one friend who says, "Don't worry, I'll cover you now. Just pay me back whenever." Then a month later, they show up at your door with brass knuckles demanding 25% interest. And don't even get me started on rewards points. People justify debt with, "Yeah, but I'm earning miles." Congratulations, you just paid $300 in interest to get a free $20 toaster. Credit card companies aren't Santa Claus. They're billion-dollar corporations. If you think you're beating them at their own game, spoiler, you're not. The gift of credit cards: convenience, security, and in some cases, rewards. But only if you're paying the balance in full every single month. The curse: they turn you into a permanent money cow if you don't. Here's a stat. The average American carries around $6,000 in credit card debt. At typical interest rates, that's over $1,000 a year just for the privilege of owing money. Imagine burning a stack of cash every January and calling it financial planning. The fix isn't sexy, but it works. Treat your credit card like a debit card. If you don't have the money, don't swipe. And if you're already in the trap, attack the debt like it's your worst enemy, because it is. Remember, banks don't want you broke. They want you just broke enough to keep paying forever. Don't be their favorite customer. Number 4. The new car smell scam. Nothing like stepping into a brand new car. The leather seats, the touch screen, the scent they literally bottle and spray inside to make you feel like you're richer than you are. People call it new car smell. I call it the smell of money evaporating. Here's the dirty truth. The second you drive a new car off the lot, it loses about 10% of its value. By the end of the first year, it's down by around 20–30%. That $40,000 car you felt so proud of, it's now worth $30,000. And the only thing that changed is your Instagram feed. This is the textbook definition of depreciation. Cars aren't investments. They're moving liabilities with cup holders. And here's the kicker. Most people don't just buy a car. They finance it. They stretch out the payments for 5, 6, even 7 years. Which means for most of that time, they owe more than the car is worth. That's called being upside down on a loan. You're paying interest on something that's literally shrinking in value while you drive it to Taco Bell. The gift of a new car? Sure, you get reliability, maybe some safety features, maybe peace of mind. But the curse? You've locked yourself into one of the fastest ways to light money on fire legally. And let's not forget the psychological side. Cars are status symbols. People don't buy the $50,000 SUV because they need it. They buy it because they want to look successful in the Starbucks drive-thru. They want the neighbors to see it in the driveway. They want to feel like they've arrived, even though financially they just arrived at Brokeville with leather seats. Want proof this is a scam? Look at wealthy people who actually stay wealthy. Many of them drive used cars or keep the same one for 10 years. Warren Buffett still drives a modest car. Mark Zuckerberg literally spotted in a Honda Fit. These are billionaires who could buy a fleet of Lamborghinis every week, but they don't because they understand cars don't grow money, they kill it. Here's the sarcastic reality. Every time you breathe in that new car smell, remember that's not success you're inhaling. That's your savings account crying in lemon-scented air freshener. So unless you can buy a car in cash without flinching, skip the brand new dealership dream. Get something reliable, slightly used, and let somebody else pay for the first few years of depreciation. Because trust me, the smell of financial freedom beats the smell of fake leather every single time. Number 3. The food delivery money pit. It starts so innocent. You're tired. You don't want to cook. You pull out your phone, tap a few buttons, and bam, food shows up at your door like you're some kind of king. Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, they've basically convinced an entire generation that cooking is optional. But here's the scam. That $12 burrito you ordered, by the time you add delivery fees, service fees, surge pricing, and a tip, it magically turns into $25, sometimes $30. You literally just paid double for the privilege of not putting on pants. And don't think restaurants are innocent here. Many quietly jack up menu prices on delivery apps compared to in-person. So you're not only paying fees, you're paying hidden premiums. It's the financial equivalent of lighting money on fire to warm up takeout fries. Economists call this the convenience tax. Every time you pay for something that saves you time, you're trading money for comfort, and sometimes it's worth it. But here's the problem. When sometimes becomes every day, you're not buying convenience anymore. You're buying a lifestyle you can't afford. The gift of delivery apps? Sure, they save time, they let you stay in your sweatpants. They give you access to any food in the city without leaving the couch. The curse? They destroy your budget faster than any other habit. In fact, studies show the average person who regularly uses delivery apps spends an extra $3,000 a year compared to cooking. That's not just money lost, that's rent, investments, or an emergency fund gone because you couldn't be bothered to boil pasta. Here's the sarcasm. People love to complain they can't afford to invest. Oh, I don't have $200 a month for stocks. Really? Because you just spent $200 this week on tacos that came with a side of delivery fees. Imagine explaining to future you that you stayed broke, not because of Wall Street, but because of Postmates. Want to actually save. Cook once, eat twice. Meal prep, batch cook, whatever works. Because here's the truth. It's not the avocado toast keeping you broke. It's the fact that you're paying $8 for one single piece of avocado toast that came cold in a cardboard box. So yeah, order delivery once in a while. But if it's your default, congratulations. You've basically turned your financial freedom into a subscription service for lukewarm fries. Number 2. The upgrade addiction. Your phone still works. The screen isn't cracked. The battery holds charge. It does everything you need. But then Apple drops a new model with a camera that can zoom in close enough to count the pores on a stranger's face across the street. Suddenly, your perfectly good phone feels like a fossil. This is the upgrade treadmill. You convince yourself you need the latest model, the new car, the new laptop, the new TV, even though your old one was doing the job just fine. Companies don't even have to work hard anymore. They slap the word Pro or Ultra on the box, add one shiny feature you'll never use, and boom, you're camping outside the store like it's the financial Hunger Games. The curse? You never feel satisfied. The second you buy, you're already behind, because next year's model is around the corner. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Your brain gets a quick dopamine rush from something new, then resets. Which means no matter how much you upgrade, you always end up wanting more. Here's the sarcasm. It's not keeping up with the Joneses anymore. It's keeping up with the software updates. You're basically paying $1,200 a year to avoid the humiliation of the green text bubble. And it's not just tech. Cars, clothes, furniture, even kitchen appliances. Your toaster works fine, but suddenly you're staring at a smart toaster that syncs with Wi-Fi. Why? Who needs push notifications for bread? Nobody. But it's shiny, so you convince yourself you do. The gift of upgrades is obvious. Sometimes the new thing genuinely improves your life. Faster computers, safer cars, better medical tech. Worth it. But the curse? Most upgrades aren't about function. They're about status. And status is a bottomless pit. Here's the math. If you put the same $1,000 a year you waste on unnecessary upgrades into an investment account, over 30 years you're looking at $150,000, $200,000. That's generational wealth, or one long chain of iPhones you don't even own anymore. So next time you feel that itch to upgrade, ask yourself, is this purchase for me or for the imaginary audience in my head I'm trying to impress? Because spoiler, nobody cares about your camera megapixels. Number 1. The hustle culture scam. Wake up, grind, check your phone, answer emails before breakfast, chug coffee like it's jet fuel, stack your to-do list so high it looks like you're trying to solve world hunger before noon, then crash at midnight feeling guilty. You still didn't do enough. Sound familiar? Congratulations. You've been baptized into the cult of hustle culture, where the only thing growing faster than your workload is the hole in your bank account. Here's the twisted reality. People think working harder automatically means making more money. But in practice, hustle culture often does the opposite. You're so busy being busy that you don't stop to notice your money is leaking out everywhere else. You're too stressed to cook, so you order takeout. Too tired to review your bills, so you pay late fees. Too rushed to think strategically, so you stay stuck on the hamster wheel running fast, getting nowhere. Economists call this the allostatic load, the wear and tear your body and mind take from chronic stress. Psychologists call it burnout. I call it the world's most expensive treadmill. Lots of sweat, zero forward motion. The gift of hustle culture, it makes you feel important. You get to brag about how little you sleep and how many hours you grind. You convince yourself you're building an empire. The curse? You're not actually building wealth. You're building exhaustion. And exhaustion makes terrible financial decisions. You can't invest wisely, you can't budget properly, and you definitely can't enjoy the money you already earned when your brain is fried. Here's the sarcasm. The richest people on earth aren't pulling all-nighters in coffee-stained hoodies. They're sitting on yachts, taking naps, and letting their investments work while they sleep. Warren Buffett famously spends hours reading, not grinding. Jeff Bezos brags about sleeping 8 hours a night. Meanwhile, you're bragging about crushing 90-hour weeks while crushing your health and wallet at the same time. The secret? Wealth doesn't come from endless hustle. It comes from leverage. Making your money, skills, or systems do the work so you don't have to. Hustle culture hides that truth because if you realized it, you'd stop being an overworked, underpaid cog. So here's the irony. By chasing hustle as the path to wealth, you might be guaranteeing you'll never have enough time or money to actually feel rich. The hamster wheel doesn't lead to freedom. It just leads to more running. Ask yourself, how many of these money traps are eating at your wallet every day? The subscription graveyard? The daily coffee lie? Maybe you're trapped in all 10 without even realizing it. Here's the truth. It's not always the big purchases that break you. It's the little daily leaks, the habits that feel harmless, but over time drain thousands of dollars from your future. Fix those, and you're not just saving money, you're buying freedom. Subscribe and comment which trap hit you the hardest, and I'll be back with the more videos.